It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Friday, October 10th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Sunshine today, much like yesterday, high 65. And then the weekend, we're going to see some rain. Saturday morning showers and then sun and clouds in the afternoon, high 71. Sunday rain, and we could have some pretty heavy showers during the course of the day, the high 65. If you are walking out the door with us right now, it is 40 and clear in Pearl River up in Rockland County, 39 and clear in New Brunswick over in New Jersey, and it's only 41 and clear right outside our Midtown studios.
This is the Top 5 at 5.
So how much trouble is Tish in? Andrew Cuomo sees promise in a new poll. The world is watching to see when the Israeli hostages will be released. Search is on for a woman who killed her hospital roommate. And a local couple are Shark Tank stars. All right, let's get into it at 5:01. A really violent struggle between a New York sergeant and a man with a gun. This took place late last night in the Bronx. We don't have a whole lot of details. Hopefully more will come in as the morning goes on. But police say this incident took place on East Gun Hill Road about 10:30 last night. The sergeant responding to a robbery when he found himself in a hand-to-hand struggle with this suspect. They say shots were fired and the sergeant went down with a head injury, but he was not shot. He was taken to Jacoby Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. He was conscious and alert when he arrived at the hospital. Law enforcement also saying that the suspect was shot and is hospitalized with a non-life-threatening injury. Now, whether that's bullets from his gun or the office sergeant's gun, we don't know the details yet. Of course, as more comes into us, we'll pass that on to you. 5:02. A grand jury in Virginia has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on mortgage fraud charges.
According to multiple reports, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, presented evidence against James. James and President Trump have traded public insults for years. She oversaw the prosecution of his company, the Trump Organization, while Trump was still campaigning for office. In that case, Trump was fined around $500 million, but that amount was overturned by the New York Court of Appeals, which said it was excessive. It's been alleged that James and her father signed mortgage documents in 1983 stating they were husband and wife. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
Now, after this story came out, Tish James responded to the charges in a video saying they're baseless and that President Trump's only goal is political retribution.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system.
Now, as you heard from James, Tish James and President Trump have traded public insults for years, especially after the Democrat won that civil fraud suit against President Trump. James says the charges are nothing but the president going after his enemies.
These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job. So today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
WABC News Time 5:03 out to New Jersey. The Jack Ciattarelli campaign says it plans to sue Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill personally because of claims she made during the fiery exchange in the middle of Wednesday night's gubernatorial debate out in New Brunswick. One of the most contentious moments came when Sherrill accused Ciattarelli of profiting off the opioid crisis leading to deaths. Here's what it sounded like. It was one of those moments that was played over and over again.
Putting out propaganda, publishing their propaganda, while tens of thousands of New Jerseyans died.
First of all, shame on you.
Shame on you, sir.
Shame on you.
Yeah, a campaign strategist who works with the Ciattarelli campaign says the statement made by Cheryl was a defamatory act and accusing the political opponent of mass murder in a televised debate crosses the line. Ciattarelli's campaign says they expect the lawsuit to be formally filed early next week in court. Boy, these two really hate each other. Oh, my God. Cheryl's campaign responded to the threatened lawsuit by saying that Ciattarelli was not taking responsibility for his actions, so they did not back down. Then the big race here in New York City for mayor with just 25 days left until the mayoral election. Former Governor Cuomo's campaign feeling a little more confident after a new poll and an influx of donations. A Quinnipiac poll that was released yesterday has Cuomo gaining ground on Zohran Mamdani, who still retains a double-digit lead, by the way, over Cuomo. City Campaign Finance Board also awarded over $2 million in public matching funds to the Cuomo campaign yesterday, reflecting a surge in public donations to the independent candidate since Mayor Adams suspended his re-election bid. And what this poll shows is the vast majority of support that was there for Mayor Adams did go to Andrew Cuomo. But in this poll, Mamdani held 46% compared to Cuomo at 33%. You can see he narrowed the margin a little bit because back on September 10th, he was at 23%. So Cuomo's gone up 10%, Mamdani just 1%. So Cuomo campaign saying that this race is shifting decisively, and they say there is a path that's clear now if it's a two-person race between Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani says he yesterday was out on the campaign trail saying that he's not focused on Cuomo's donors, but they're focused on the 80,000 volunteers they have working for their campaign. If that number is accurate, that is unbelievable. He says also that he's open to keeping Jessica Tisch as his NYPD commissioner if he wins in November. And he continues to do these series of meetings with business organizations. Yesterday, he met with the Association for a Better New York, laying out a plan to capitalize on tourism for next summer's World Cup.
For international tourists to this city for this year, having dropped 17%, resulting in a $4 billion decrease compared to 2024. And the World Cup offers us the perfect chance to rewrite this narrative.
And Curtis Lee was out on the campaign trail yesterday as well, also talking about Commissioner Tisch, also saying that he, if he becomes mayor, would consider keeping her on as police commissioner. But he's calling for stepped-up NYPD presence on the subways. He says he doesn't believe the crime numbers coming from the subways.
No, it is not an anomaly, Jessica Tisch. It is increasingly happening because we don't have enough police.
And the Sliwa campaign did respond to that new Quinnipiac poll that has Curtis Sliwa at the same number he was back on the first polling at 15%. He says their campaign says that the only poll that matters is the one that will take place on Election Day. WABC News Time, 5:09. We've all said it. Just because the driver next to you has a license, it doesn't mean they should be on the road.
Nassau County DA Ann Donnelly says Garden City DMV Supervisor Kenesha Middleton allowed her sister Jamie to take more than 10 exams for applicants on different occasions.
These people were driving on the roads where our children are riding their bicycles and walking to school. And the potential danger is unfathomable. 2 other DMV employees are also involved in the scheme. They all face up to 7 years in prison if convicted in the 50-count indictment. I'm Lisa Ritchie for 77 WABC News.
Almost every day we get a report of a bear going around some local tri-state neighborhood, and that activity is only increasing now as the bears look for food to take into hibernation for the winter.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my!
Well, bears anyway. New Jersey's Department of Environmental Conservation reminding residents to take steps to secure garbage and get rid of other food sources in the yard. That could include dog food. The department also reminding people not to feed bears intentionally. Doing so is illegal. Most of the Garden State's black bears are in the northwestern portion of the state, talking Morris, Sussex, and Passaic counties. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
WABC the news time, 5:11. Let's go overseas. The ceasefire plan agreed to by Israel and Hamas, ratified by the Israeli cabinet yesterday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke at a cabinet meeting there, thanked the U.S. for its help brokering the deal.
We couldn't have achieved it without the extraordinary help of President Trump and his team, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner.
First phase of the U.S. broker deal includes the release of all the remaining hostages in Gaza. It also includes a conditional Israeli withdrawal from Gaza and the release of 250 Palestinian prisoners. President Trump says he thinks the hostages will all be released on Monday or Tuesday, and he's expected to issue a declaration that the war is over.
I want to personally thank both of you, Steve, Jared. It's been long hours. We know that it's for the benefit of Israel and the United States, for the benefit of decent people everywhere, and for the benefit of these families who will finally get to be with their loved ones. And I want to thank you on their behalf as well.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's the hostages will be coming back Monday or Tuesday. I'll probably be there. I hope to be there.
President Trump says he's happy there will be peace.
I see you celebrating in Israel, but they're celebrating in many other countries too. A lot of the Muslim and Arab countries, they're celebrating. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody loves the deal. As you know, it's all finalized and done. We've had a lot of terrifically talented people. We've had tremendous support from UAE, Saudi Arabia. Qatar has been unbelievable.
And the U.S. reportedly planning to send as many as 200 troops to Israel to monitor the ceasefire agreement.
U.S. officials say the military will help with the flow of humanitarian aid and security into the enclave. One official told NBC News there will be no U.S. boots on the ground in Gaza. This comes after President Trump announced Wednesday the first phase of a ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas. The plan has since been ratified by the Israeli cabinet. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And back here in New York, we've seen the people parading in the streets in Gaza and Israel, very excited by this peace deal. Many of them praising Donald Trump, carrying American flags, or in case of Palestine, Palestinian flags, and Israel, Israeli flags. Here in New York, which is the second largest Jewish population in the world after Israel, not everybody's sure this deal is going to go through.
You have to sometimes make an agreement with a party you don't trust because you can't keep on just stretching out and fighting the war.
And I feel like they've done this before where they agree and then they're like, oh, actually, we have extra contingencies that we want to put on it.
Yeah, so far, we haven't seen them. Let's hope that's not the case. And everybody in the streets here in New York, we're talking about whether the President Trump, deserves the Nobel Peace Prize for what he's done in the Middle East.
Holy no! I mean, whatever he does is by pure accident. It's a fool's luck.
I think he's done a lot of work in getting this done, but I think there are a lot of people behind him that have helped as well.
He definitely deserves it. I mean, it's not just there. I mean, he's had peace deals with India and Pakistan and Congo and Rwanda and other places.
Now, the Nobel Peace Prize has just been announced, like about 12 minutes ago. It did not go to President Trump. It went to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. She won the Nobel Peace Prize. Just hearing this moments ago, the Nobel Committee said they gave her the prize for her decades-long struggle against her country, the fearless defense of democracy, her bold moral leadership in a country racked by crisis. This is all from the Nobel Committee. I'm just reading it as I'm getting it. And, of course, the thought was that the president would get this Nobel Prize, but apparently a fair amount of the nominations come in as early as January of the prior year. And so what they're saying that any nominations Trump has received following his accomplishments this year will be considered for the 2026 Nobel Prize. So the president not getting what he thought he deserved and what many others thought he deserved did not happen today, going to a woman that probably most people will be first finding out about today. This woman named Maria Corina Machado from Venezuela. All right, 5:15. Let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk. Oh, my God, it has been a
What are you laughing at?
Week for Justin Ellick.
What are you laughing at?
First, he had the Yankees go down to the field.
Yeah.
That was on
What's funny
Wednesday
about
night.
that? What's funny about that?
And what was even more funny was
Hilarious.
last night
Yeah.
was your Eagles,
Yeah,
who you
hilarious.
live and die for. They looked just horrendous against my Giants. And finally, I had something to cheer about.
Well, what? Okay, so what? People aren't entitled to a bad day?
every now and then.
I mean, that was more than a bad day.
That was really bad, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you win the Super Bowl last year. You come out look like that against the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad, no?
Yeah. All of a sudden, I feel like the Giants might win a few games this season after that game.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, this Jackson Dart, he's like Casper the Friendly Ghost. You can't grab him.
No, he may be the real deal.
He's going through walls, going through defensive linemen.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest about it, Joe. I mean, you got the guy down 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Can we wrap him up, or we don't feel like it?
They just plowed through that Eagle defense last night. I mean,
well, okay, we had a couple of injuries. No,
stop.
All right?
So does
Jalen, and Jalen Carter wasn't playing. He's the best defensive tackle in football. One of.
I mean, just plowed through them.
Yeah.
Anything they wanted to do last night, they did. It was incredible.
Quinyon Mitchell yanked his hamstring. He's top 3 cornerback in football. You lose him, and you got nobody.
I think we're doomed.
Got nobody to cover these high school wide receivers on the outside. High school wide receivers. They're in high school.
Did you hear about?
Jesus?
Did you hear Jalen Hurts after the game last night?
Yeah.
Here he was.
Competitive in that. I'm trying to figure that out. We got some work to do. That's all that matters. We got an opportunity in front of us to really embrace the things that are coming our way and grow from it.
And I don't know, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
He said the Giants deserved to win last night.
They outplayed
They played great. They were the better team today. They played with energy. They played tough. They made more plays than us. Usually that's how you lose football games. We just got to go back to the drawing board, look at film, hold each other accouable.
You want more?
No. I'll take that over the Jalen Hurts message.
Okay.
I mean, his sermons get a little nauseating. His cryptic messages, his cryptic quotes that he does all the time in these press conferences.
Yippee.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit yippy up there with the microphone and his stupid little hat that he wears, his stupid little beret. Like, you're not French, Jalen. All right? Why don't you take the hat off and get back to winning football games?
Wow, this is pretty vicious stuff for you.
Well, I'm not happy about it. He had a good first half, then he throws a terrible interception, misses a wide-open Devontae Smith on the sideline. Wide open. It's a broken play. It's got to be 6. Oh, my God. Now you got me pissed off.
Your croissants are here, Mr. Jalen, your croissant. Oh, you have a game to attend to. I'm sorry.
Can I get some chocolate on that to make it more competitive?
I think we're doomed.
Can I get some chocolate in that croissant? Make it more competitive. Give us some stuff to look at in tape and come back and learn from it.
S'il vous plaît, play like stupid.
Yeah, come back and learn from it. Yeah, well, you have a while. Long week. Obviously, that being Thursday night football. Up next for the now 2-4 G-men. A long week there before visiting Denver on Sunday, October 19th. Obviously not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And coming up on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. from London, the 3-2 Broncos technically visiting the 0-5 New York Jets. The NFL London games, another installment of the overseas project from the NFL here. The Broncos are going to be 6.5-point road favorites in that one. To an MLB recap here, playoff baseball, your final in 11 innings from Los Angeles. Wild way to end this one, and a really depressing way to end it if you're a Phillies fan. The Dodgers walking off the Phillies 2-1 in Game 4.
How great was it that Philly lost both those games last night? It was awesome. The Giants game was not enough. It was it was like a bow on the top of a present that the Phillies lost as well.
Yeah. Okay. This is where you're losing me because I'm not a Phillies fan. Okay. All right. No, I'm Layden. So you can come at me all you want about the Eagles, but now I have no ties, no emotions to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay.
So I don't want to hear it.
All
right. They can have a good offseason. I don't care. God. The Eagles might as well be in the offseason as well, for that matter. Final from Chicago, the Cubs beating the Brewers 6-0 in Game 4 of that NLDS series, tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 Saturday night in Milwaukee. Winner moves on to play Los Angeles in the NLCS. And tonight, 8:08 p.m., the Tigers are at the Mariners for Game 5 of that ALDS series there. Tied at 2 games apiece. Winner moves on to play Toronto in the ALCS. That starts on Sunday. And to the ice, your final from Buffalo, Rangers blanking the Sabres Sabres 4-0 in Pittsburgh. The Penguins beat the Islanders 4-3, and the Devils got doubled up by the Hurricanes out in Carolina. Final score there, 6-3. That is your Sports Know, and I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
Thank you very much, Justin. Traffic, transit now. Are you a happy Devils fan this morning? I don't know what did they win?
That was terrible last night. They're absolutely horrible. Somebody played goal, huh? How about some defense, too? Terrible.
What was the score in that game?
6-3. They gave up 6 goals.
6 goals.
Terrible.
Jeez.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But you know what the best thing about all these Philly things going on? Penn State lost 2 in a row, too.
Yeah, that's true. They were both great games, but it was fun to watch them lose both of those games. WABC News Time 522. We are still in a partial government shutdown. President Trump says he'll only cut programs that impact one party as this government shutdown rolls on.
We'll be cutting some very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans, frankly, because that's the way it works. They wanted to do this.
Yeah, he says the blame falls on the Democrats, so they should have to pay for what's causing the shutdown.
And we'll be making cuts that will be permanent. And we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense. But we're only cutting Democrat programs. The Democrat shutdown is causing pain and suffering for hardworking Americans, including our military.
As you might guess, the Democrats disagree with that. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pointing his finger at Republican colleagues as the partial government shutdown enters its 10th day now.
We urge Republicans to back away from their corner and have serious negotiations with the American people, serious negotiations that the American people deserve and expect before people get sick.
About 750,000 federal workers have been furloughed because of the shutdown.
People will go bankrupt. People will get sick. People will die. All because the Speaker chose to keep the House on vacation rather than come to work and negotiate with Democrats to fix this health care crisis and end their Trump shutdown.
Yeah, okay, there's been a bunch of votes trying to pass some sort of budget to keep the government open. All of them have failed so far. 523, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson urging against a pardon for convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell.
President Trump has been asked on numerous occasions about a pardon for the former associate of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, to which the president has responded that he would need to talk with DOJ officials for more information. During an interview, Johnson was asked if he would want to see Maxwell pardoned, and he said he would never even consider it. Johnson highlighted Maxwell's status as a convicted human trafficker and added there's no way she would ever leave prison. I'm at Mattinson.
524, let's go down to Texas. Texas Court of Criminal Appeals has halted next week's planned execution of Robert Roberson, whose shaken baby death case has gained national attention. There's been a bipartisan group of state lawmakers in Texas who have championed his innocence over the last couple months.
Look at this case and realize there is way too many questions to be answered.
It's third time that courts have blocked the execution of Roberson. He was convicted of murder for the 2002 death of his new daughter. But new evidence suggests the child died of accidental or natural causes. So you have, rare in Texas, both Republicans and Democrats speaking out saying, let's hold off on this execution.
Let's get it right. Let's go back to the drawing board and let's look at this case. This is a man that has not lost his hope, has not lost his faith, has only grown stronger as he sees people fight for the system.
In fact, these lawmakers asking for a whole new trial now. 525, beef prices are at a record high. Experts say much of this can be blamed on this historic drought that has decreased the size of the herd.
That means that those animals that would normally be in the production cycle are not.
Yeah, so that's Gary Joyner with the Texas Farm Bureau, says the state's beef cattle herd, lowest level. You have to go back to 2014, and it comes at a time when demand is at an all-time high.
Plus, we're not getting cattle from Mexico because of the New World screwworm.
Yeah, and Americans are looking to eat less processed foods and more lean protein, so they're looking for beef.
It really is supply and demand. There are fewer cattle in the production pipeline.
And while we're talking about diet soda may not be any healthier for the liver than drinking regular soda.
New research looked at data from the United Kingdom and found that sugary drinks and those with artificial sweeteners are both linked to an elevated risk of liver disease. Those who drank a lot of soda saw a 50% higher risk of developing fatty liver disease. The findings were presented this week at a gastroenterology conference in Berlin. I'm Mark Mayfield.
526, Amazon soon going to be opening pharmacy kiosks at medical offices so patients can get their prescriptions right after their appointments.
The online retailer announced Wednesday that the Amazon pharmacy kiosks will launch in December around the LA area with plans for further expansion in the future. Those wanting to use the service can create an Amazon pharmacy account, schedule an appointment with a medical office that has a kiosk, and then ask their provider to send their prescription to Amazon Pharmacy. The pharmacy app will allow patients to view pricing and insurance copays too. I'm Monica Nelson.
Concerning news about the New York area economy, WABC Wall Street reporter Joe Connolly has more on that.
Moody's Investors Service says they think that New Jersey and Connecticut are both now in a recession and that New York's economy is treading water statewide but holding its own. Moody's believes there were 2,400 layoffs in New Jersey over the last few weeks, and they say nationwide many middle-income households are struggling with debt and slow wage growth despite being steadily employed. Joe Connolly, 77 WABC News.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Friday, October 10th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Sunshine today, high 65. Saturday, we'll have some morning showers, and then sun and clouds in the afternoon, high 71, and then Sunday will probably be the worst of it. Rain, we could see some heavy showers, high 65. If you're walking out the door with us right now, it is 40 and clear in Pearl River up in Rockland County, 39 and clear in New Brunswick over in New Jersey, and it's 41 and clear right outside our Midtown studios. Those are cold temps, the first cold ones of the fall season. WABC News Time 5:39, a new Quinnipiac University poll released yesterday finds that in the race for mayor, Andrew Cuomo has made some pretty serious gains since Eric Adams dropped out, but Zohran Mamdani still leads. The poll found a three-way race shows 46% for Mamdani, 33% for Cuomo, and 15% for Curtis Sliwa. This compares to Mamdani was at the same number last poll, 45, but Cuomo had 23%. So it seems that all the voters that were Eric Adams fans went Cuomo's way after Adams dropped out of the race late last month. And it appears that virtually all of those supporters are now backing Cuomo. Many of them apparently Jewish voters that were once loyal to Mayor Adams. Here's the Quinnipiac poll director, the assistant poll director, Mary Snow.
The one area where he is seeing a huge lead is among Jewish voters. And the fact of the matter is, Mamdani is still ahead. Double digits.
Yeah, Mamdani is viewed more favorably than others, and his supporters are all fired up, according to this latest survey. 90% of Mamdani supporters say they're enthusiastic about their candidate. Compare that to 85% of Sliwa supporters and just 69% of Cuomo supporters. But when you ask these pollsters, or rather these pollsters ask voters to grade the candidates on their experience, that's where Cuomo has a big edge. 73% say Cuomo has the most experience, 39% for Mamdani, and 24% for Sliwa. Mamdani on Thursday trying to reassure the business community that he is going to be pro-business if he becomes mayor.
Say what characterizes me in the way I'll lead this team is hiring the best and the brightest, empowering them, doing so always knowing that I hold the ultimate responsibility.
Now, the Cuomo campaign, looking at this poll, says they do have a path forward if Curtis Sliwa voters defect and vote for him. And I think a lot of people would suggest that likely would not happen. Here's more from this Quinnipiac pollster.
The indications, though, in this poll is that no, they won't, because many of them are saying their minds are made up and they're enthusiastic about it.
And even if Curtis Lee were to drop out, and I can almost assure you that that's not going to happen, his name would still be on the ballot. They can't take it off. It's too late. Cuomo himself, Andrew Cuomo, Going to be in with Sid at 8:30 this morning for an in-depth interview. The first one he's given to Sid since he announced that he was running for mayor. So make sure you're here 8:30 this morning. Sid and Friends in the morning as Andrew Cuomo has a conversation with Sid Rosenberg. 5:42. Let's go up to the Hudson Valley. Just a god-awful story. An 11-year-old boy died when he accidentally shot himself in Newburgh yesterday. Police responding to a call inside a home on North Miller Street. They found the child dead inside the house. This neighbor knows the family.
Too many teens. He got shot. It is very sad. Too young. He just started living his life. The boy's a good mother.
She says she heard the 11-year-old was playing around with other children when this tragedy occurred. The shooting actually prompted the Newburgh School District to place schools under a lockdown for a short period out of an abundance of caution. They wanted to know, of course, exactly what was taking place. A Newburgh resident says the neighborhood there has gotten a lot safer over the years, but still plagued with this kind of gun violence. In this case, of course, it was accidental, though.
Well, they're good kids. They're good kids, yeah. I love them so much.
I have a lot of pride in Newburgh. Newburgh is my home, and it's sad to see when things like this happen.
Yeah. 5:43, let's go from Newburgh over to Long Island. Several Garden City DMV workers are accused of running a commercial vehicle licensing scheme. 50-count indictment announced yesterday by Nassau District Attorney Ann Donnelly. It alleges the Garden City DMV supervisor allowed her sister to take more than 10 exams for applicants on several different occasions, which means we don't even know if these people could have passed the exam.
These people were driving on the roads where our children are riding their bicycles and walking to school. And the potential danger is unfathomable.
Yeah, she's right. At least 4 DMV workers involved in this scheme. They've pled not guilty. They face up to 7 years behind bars if convicted. In this 50-count indictment, Ann Donnelly alleges Garden City DMV supervisor Kenesha Middleton allowed her sister Jamie to take more than 10 exams for applicants several different occasions.
She's in disguise, coming in different clothing, even going so far as to wearing fake mustache, beard,
That's crazy.
Glasses, mask, almost like a spy in an espionage thriller.
Yeah, all just to make a little money on the side. 5:44 while we're out in Long Island. 6 businesses, Nassau County, severely damaged in a 4-alarm fire yesterday. Nassau County Fire Marshals says that it started in the basement of Halal Munchies at the corner of Broadway and Hicksville. A worker there says the store just opened, actually, and the fire began with 2 workers inside. I mean, the good news is they were able to get out.
The only store over here, Halal Food, open until 4 a.m. So, we recently opened up. We're thinking, it's going to go well. But unfortunately, it happened. But what can we do?
And this thing got very intense. People know these stories really well in Hicksville. Fire crews had to pull back after the first floor of this 2-week-old business partially collapsed. One firefighter suffered minor injuries. Thank God that's all it was. It could have been a whole lot worse.
I saw flames coming out from the basement area. I went to a second alarm. And a few minutes later, I went to a third alarm.
Yes, so if you live in this area, you know the place called House of Donuts. It is a Long Island institution, and it was left in ruins. It goes back to the 1970s. The husband and wife owners, Maria and Nicholas Kalafis, stood by the shell of their burnt-out eatery with tears in their eyes yesterday.
I'm there 7 days a week, all my life. My husband too. From 1977.
Yeah, I mean, you feel terrible for them. A gas leak in the basement, that's what they think may have sparked that fire. The good news, again, the injuries all minor. All right, 5:46, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk, and here's Justin Ellick.
Thank you, Noam. Later, we'll start at MetLife Stadium here, NFL Week 6. Cam Scatterbo ran for 3 touchdowns. Jackson Dart had 1 rushing and another passing, and the Giants beat the Eagles 34-17, ending what less than a week ago was one of the NFL's final unbeaten teams. Its 2nd consecutive loss.
Did you see that the mayor of Philadelphia took the turnpike down to Giants Stadium to watch this game because she was so confident the team would win?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so she was in the crowd. Here she was cheering.
Yeah. Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
great. So she's really doubling down on the whole spelling it wrong thing. Right. That's so last year. God. Can we find something new?
No, it's too good to find something new.
Oh, my God. What a... Jeez. Anyway, no, but this is New York radio, so hey, go Giants.
Right, exactly.
There you go. Oh, my God. God bless the New York Giants. Oh, my God. Up next for them, now 2-4, a long week before visiting Denver on Sunday, October 19th. Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. from London. Get your Jets installment of the week. They're 0-5 on the year. Technically welcoming in the 3-2 Denver Broncos out in London for the NFL London games. Denver there, 6.5-point road favorites. To the MLB now. Your final in 11 innings, the Dodgers walked off the Phillies 2-1 and into the NLCS, winning the NLDS there 3-1, and they'll face either Milwaukee or Chicago in that championship series. The Cubs beat the Brewers big time last night, 6-0. So that series now is knotted at 2 games apiece. Decisive Game 5 Saturday night, tomorrow night, I should say, in Milwaukee, and of course that winner moving on to play LA. And tonight, the Tigers and the Mariners will get Game 5 of that ALDS underway out in Seattle. That's an 8:08 p.m. first pitch. Winner there will move on to play Toronto in the ALCS starting on Sunday. And to the ice we go here finally. Your final from Buffalo. The Rangers blanking the Sabres. They're 1-1 on the year now. 4-0 is your final from Buffalo. Out in Pittsburgh, the Islanders lost to the Penguins 4-3. And out in Carolina, the Devils opened their season with a loss to the Hurricanes. The final there, 6-3. That's your Sports Gnome, and I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 5:50. Let's go up to the Bronx, where a memorial was held yesterday for Cynthia Van. She's the Lincoln Hospital homicide victim. She would have turned 56 years old yesterday. She went to the hospital for treatment of a liver condition when she was attacked by her roommate in the hospital. She later died from her injuries. Police are still looking for this woman who carried out the crime, 44-year-old Raquel Houghton, in connection with the homicide. They've been unable to find her. And as you might guess, the family is just distraught. Here is Cynthia Van's mother speaking out at this press conference yesterday.
The Lord had to tell me that was my child laying in that bed. Face, head swollen, bruises all over her face.
Van filed a report with the hospital, but no arrests were made initially. A CT scan later shows she suffered a brain bleed in result of the attack. She went into emergency surgery, and then she died from the injuries from this attack. More members of her family speaking out yesterday.
Someone needs to be held responsible for the death of Cynthia Van. Someone dropped the ball. I mean, how many crimes do you have to do to charge someone with a crime?
It's hard to imagine that you go into a hospital for what is a routine procedure and then your roommate beats you out.
I just want to fight for justice. I'm going to continue to fight until justice is served.
Yeah, anyone with information, of course, is asked to call police. Pedestrian deaths are at a record high now all across the country.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports more than 7,300 fatalities occurred in 2023. That's up nearly 80% since 2009. Deaths were seen rising mainly in urban areas, while rural numbers stayed steady. Analysts blame bigger SUVs and trucks, but deaths from smaller vehicles are also increasing. Crashes have become more deadly, not more frequent, indicating changes in vehicle impact or design. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Let's head up to Albany, where Governor Hochul speaking out against the Trump administration yesterday for withholding grant money for counterterrorism and other safety measures connected to New York Transit. She says the state is now in court trying to get back $34 million that was allocated to New York as part of a grant established following the 9/11 attacks.
But we are safer because we have invested dollars from the federal government and the city and the state together. That is what they're jeopardizing right now. Our safety has been compromised.
She's accusing the White House of defunding police and putting New York City's security at risk.
Federal government, without justification, no rationale, other than a punitive gesture to punish blue states like New York.
And Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch says the funding keeps New York safe.
Taking these capabilities away from the busiest and therefore the most high-threat subway system in the country is a profound mistake. Counterterrorism operations and public safety in general cannot be politicized.
It was just last week that Hochul fought to get $187 million back in Homeland Security grants that were being withheld from a different pot of counterterrorism funding by the White House. 5:53 for the next few days. Don't be concerned if you see like somebody dressed in an elf outfit, Spider-Man, Darth Vader, a wizard walking around the city. I saw them yesterday. They were all over the place. That's because New York Comic-Con officially kicked off yesterday morning, the pop culture convention, back for another year at the Javits Center. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, convention of the year there.
There's so many fans here who are just so excited about comics or movies or anime, and they are here and they're ready to have such a good time.
The event will run through Sunday. Plenty of activities for fans of movies, TV, anime, video games.
We have amazing booths on our show floor, which is where we are right now. You see Marvel, we've got DC and Hasbro and Funko and Bandai. Got amazing panels this year from a bunch of studios showing off brand new TV shows and movies.
Yeah, they got a bunch of celebrities who show up for this thing to do these panels. Sigourney Weaver going to be there, Lawrence Fishburne as well. The gathering usually attracts around 200,000 fans over just 48 hours, which is amazing.
Losers.
Well, no, they pay a lot of money, so they're
I don't care.
It's good for the economy, New York City's economy. The
Losers.
hotels are full, the restaurants.
Listen to me carefully. Losers. These are adults. Poor Roger Clark yesterday dressed as Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, first of all, he was too large for that costume.
And it was
so
plastic.
It didn't look good.
Yeah.
And it looked like something he had bought like in a store.
In
a box.
like 50 years ago.
Right. Remember they used to do the box and it had the mask and that like,
I had him as a kid. Sure.
It looked like a smock you'd wear.
I mean, New York won.
That's what he was wearing.
They can't even spring for something decent. And then Frank Morano tries to defend himself yesterday, not by saying, I don't go to those things because they're for losers. He goes, and I quote, I don't dress up. Which means he probably still shows up.
Yeah.
Loser. And Frank's not a loser, of course. I love Frank, but
yeah.
I mean, you gotta stop. Star Trek, Comic-Con. What I tell you yesterday, the only con that you have to respect is BronyCon.
Oh, okay. That one is actually a lot more frightening than Comic-Con.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
My Little Pony.
Yeah, I mean, people who are addicted to My Little Pony, I would say if I was the cops, I'd be checking out everybody walking into
It's in
that
Pennsylvania. But it's not just addicted to My Little Pony. They have public sex, and they're weirdos. You know, a lot of them are gay, and I don't know. Lou was there once. Lou.
You were there? What was it like, Lou?
A lot of rainbow colors. And, they gave you these pinwheels that lit up, and I was a little bit more occupied with who was wearing what. I don't
right.
know. Hey, you know, it's an entertaining time. That's all. That's it. I mean, each to his own. That's all.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Whether it's BronyCon or Comic-Con.
I live my life by this. No,
what is that?
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Wow.
How about that?
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, write it down. I'll tell you again over the weekend when I'm looking at the rainbows.
Thanks for listening to the News Hour with Noam Laden. You can hear the News Hour with Noam Laden weekday mornings at 5 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?